Welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 213. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. This is a tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. What are we teaching?
Reframing questions in your mind.
Mm-hmm. It kind of goes off of like the positive mindset thing a little bit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want to talk about this?
That is what came up in my ego book. We talked about it a little bit on Friday.
Bro.
Friday's episode.
What? No, it came up in my Donald Trump book.
Yeah, and it also came up in my ego book.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because remember I was telling the story about how the nurse got upset about...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can just talk about it quick just in case if someone didn't listen to it.
Hit that.
This nurse... so I'm reading No Ego. I don't remember who it's by. But this nurse went in to brief a patient for their surgery. The patient started freaking out because the nurse was briefing them on the wrong surgery. So not the surgery they were supposed to get. So the patient started freaking out because they're like, this is so unprofessional. You're going to do the wrong surgery on me. Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff. So the nurse freaks out, leaves, goes to her supervisor, starts freaking out and saying like how unprofessional it looks on her and how people should get fired and be responsible for this and blah, blah, blah. Well, the supervisor goes, well, what would a great nurse do? And so the nurse lists off like all the steps that a great nurse would do to rectify the situation. And at the end of it, the supervisor goes, can you be a great nurse? She goes, yep. And turns around and goes and does everything that she just listed off.
Yep, love it. All right, so people tend to ask themselves questions. A lot of times they ask themselves yes or no, or like close-ended questions, right? So they ask themselves, should I do this? No. Or like, you know, like it's not always, a lot of the time it's yes or no questions, okay? Now, the second part of that is people ask themselves, how do I do this, right? So like, okay, I want to make 100, or you say like, I want to make 100 grand this year, right? And your first question is going to be like, how am I going to make 100 grand, right? Mm-hmm. So you're asking yourself like, how am I going to make that 100 grand? Now, the right way to frame that question is exactly what you just said. What does someone that make 100 grand do? Mm-hmm. Write down all the things that someone that makes 100 grand does, and then ask yourself, can I be that person?
Right.
Yes. So then it's you're identifying and asking yourself a different question. You're not asking how do I get there. You're asking like, what does that person look like that accomplishes that? And then can I be that person? Mm-hmm. And then be that person.
Yeah, and we've kind of talked about that before and with some other things about like, oh, sorry guys, we just got back from Ashland, so I'm a little tired.
I was thinking about going and getting that orange sunrise.
Oh, I would be so okay with that.
Dude.
So okay with that.
Just keep going.
Wait, hold on. Before you walk out, what did I just say?
You were talking about people that, like, identifying the person you want to be.
Yes. So Shaun and I have talked about this before about kind of taking someone you look up to, like, and not like you can use your parents, but someone that's like really more out there. Taking them and kind of dissecting like what they do or what they did to get to the point that they're at. So then you can lay out all of those steps and then you can think, can I do that? Can I be like this person? And it's good to kind of frame it off of someone that's way higher out there, because if you shoot for the stars, then you land on the moon instead of just shooting for the moon and maybe only making it halfway there. It's really good to try and picture yourself getting further than like what you truly want to get to. We don't show ads on this on this podcast, but if we were,
all right, guys. I don't know what Sam was saying, but
side note.
So I listen to Real AF by Andy Frisella all the time, and they came out with First Form Energy this last year, and so we're at Subs, getting some subs, and I saw they had First Form Energy, so
we got Andy's favorite.
We decided to get the favorite, Orange Sunrise.
Mm-hmm. DJ's is purple drink, isn't it? They don't have a purple.
They don't have a purple drink.
I think, didn't they say they were coming out with purple drink and cream soda or something?
Oh, that's good.
Is it good?
That's really good. Yeah, they're coming out with a purple drink and a cream soda.
I could get a case of these.
Dude, those Orange Sunrises are delicious.
I could get a case of this.
We'll see how we feel after we drink that one down.
Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of a weird taste. Anyway, so what I just said is taking someone that's higher up, breaking down like how you think they got to where they are.
Yep.
And then asking yourself if you can do that. And to strive for someone out there. Because if you shoot for the stars, you land on the moon.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So part of like reframing the questions in your mind is that. So you know, we so often ask ourselves how. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, how are we gonna do that? How? Instead of really like the other question of it is why. Mm-hmm. So like, why would I do that? And that goes based off of like, I wrote a blog on it last week. Of the essentially the why is kind of like the pros and cons of something, right? And so we just came back from Ashland, had my 10-year high school reunion.
Yep.
I was the driver to get that process rolling, and I will probably also be the driver to get the 20-year going. Mm-hmm. Here's why.
You're not going to do 15-year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So the reason being is this. You know, I was sitting with some friends at Corey and Sarah's wedding reception, and we got on the topic of the reunion, and that the 10-year was coming up that next year.
It was Tyler Hudak's wedding, by the way.
It was Tyler Hudak's wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because that's how I like met all of them originally. They brought it up. It was Tyler Hudak's wedding. Doesn't matter. Sorry.
Shit. Okay.
Sorry.
Anyhow. Oh, okay. Anyways, so that's what we were chatting about it. Anyways, we were talking about the reunion. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't know who's planning it, but I'll make it happen. So I reached out to some people about it, and we got it rolling, made it happen. But I didn't ask myself or think about like how I'd make it happen. I was just like, oh yeah, I'll make it happen. And the reason being was because I thought about like the why of it, okay? I enjoy talking to people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know that.
Yep, we do.
But I enjoy seeing what people have been up to. Because 10 years is a short amount of time, but it's long enough to really make impactful changes in your life.
Sorry, you can continue.
You go ahead.
I think that like this first 10 is also like such an interesting one because like we actually age in that time, right? Like we become like teenagers to adults, and people get married, and like marriages change people, kids change people. Then you can see like to where people go in their careers. So I think like this 10 years is not way more impactful, but I think you see the differences a lot more in this 10 years than you will in the next 10 years.
It's way more transformational, and here's why. Because of the questions in your head. So that what that is, dude, when we went to college for the first time, you weren't with everybody you went to high school with.
No.
So the day you went to college or the day you graduated high school, you could ask yourself, like, who's this? Who am I? Like, who am I? Who am I going to be? So you can go get... I know this is... And this is part of the why of why I want to do it. You can go get fucking new friends. Mm-hmm. Have a completely new personality. nobody needs to know if you were the awkward, nerdy kid. No one needs to know that. You
Right.
can be a complete different person, and people will, like, take you for that, right? That's Sam. And so, by doing that, dude, people get a full different, like, taste of who you are,
Yeah.
you know? And then, once people find out you used to be the awkward nerd, they just laugh about it.
Yep.
They might jab at you a little bit for it, but it's fun, and it's because you're a different person, right?
Yeah.
And so that was like the big thing. I was so big on like, I want to get people together because I want everyone to see who the new person has become.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and a lot of people did change, right? Which is awesome because you had 10 years to change.
Yeah.
I'd hope you changed, you know?
Yeah.
And some people didn't change at all and some changed drastically, which is awesome. And that's the kind of shit that I wanted to like see, and why I wanted to make it happen is because for the people that were willing to show up, I wanted them to see that like it's okay whatever route they went in life.
Yeah.
And I think so I know so many people were anxious and nervous that didn't want to go because they were nervous to see people. They didn't want to have the awkward conversations. They didn't want to feel anxiety and uncomfort and all that shit. But the thing is, dude, that is such a builder, like a mental builder to do those things you don't want to do, to show yourself that it's okay. Every other motherfucker in that situation is feeling what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Except maybe Bryce.
Dude, he's
stone cold.
Oh my God, he's cool.
Severe. But the majority of people are going to be nervous going there and doing that. But dude, there's like nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's everyone's in the same boat. Go, enjoy it, see what these people have done with themselves, who they made themselves of. And my only hope off of that is I hope a lot of people are able to accept who they are in the next 10 years. And I talked to a bunch of people yesterday about that. I hope people are really truly able to accept the people they are, and even if they're afraid, go in 10 years, say hi, mingle with people, to show the world who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of hiding and being scared and all that, like just embrace who the hell you are. There's nothing wrong with the person you became. If you didn't change at all, there's nothing wrong with that. If you did change, that's even better. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But just like accept it and go do it. But yeah, I did that whole thing, and I'm excited for the next one, all based on like the why. And the why is like to see how people have changed and developed.
Yeah.
Anyways, good.
No, I just think that's interesting because I think with like with my own experience, I was a huge tomboy throughout my entire life. And I remember like all throughout high school, I like kept telling my best friend Marie that I wanted to be more girly. And she's just like, well, why? And I was like, I don't know, to like fit in more. I was like, yes, like I'm comfortable being a tomboy, but like I can also be girly too. And I just never did it in high school because I was just like, everyone will just be so shocked, and like I didn't want that attention either. Of like, oh, Sam all of a sudden is super girly or whatever.
Dude, they made a couple movies about that. One with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was it She's All That?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I don't remember.
Was that what it was?
Maybe. There's what the Duff, isn't that another one, more recent one?
The Duff?
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Or is that? Oh no, she was just a nerdy girl.
She's All That. God, I'm so freaking good at what I do. 1999. Freddie. They gave it a 5.9 on IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes, 41%. They clearly aren't cultured.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Leigh Cook.
Yeah, I think the Duff is more about the nerdy girl getting the hot jock.
Ah.
Yeah. But anyway, so then once I got to college, then I was just like, I was still friends and hung out with a lot of the same people, but I was just like, well, Now I can do whatever because I am around different people. They're
Right.
not going to all be so, like, shocked and whatever. So, yeah. Besides the point, I just like the idea of, I don't know, I just like the idea of that, like, mind shift. I feel like it makes it easier for you to, like, lay out how, like, what your next step should be.
Yes, 100%.
Because, like, Sean and I are very indecisive people, so, like, trying to think on our own, like, what will the next step be is kind of hard to think of. But when you think of, like, okay, I want to build a company similar to Chip and Joanna Gaines because they're in the same field as us. And then we could think, how do I get to be on Chip and Joanna Gaines level? And you can kind of, like, I mean, you can even do, like, research because we have, I think Chip has made 2 books. So, I mean, we could even, because one of them's Capital Gains, so I'm sure we could read through that book and then see, like, what steps they took. And even, we probably could find it anywhere to see, like, what steps they took. And kind of think of it that way.
Yeah, well, it's also, seeing what they do and how they live their life and then imitating them. As you don't want to be that person, but, like, imitating the shit they do. Like, we just had Tony Youngs come speak. Tony Youngs finds a lot of hidden market deals. He goes and knocks on 30 doors every Sunday. Now, if I wanted as many hidden market deals as Tony Youngs, and I wanted to be the main wholesaler in town, well, yeah, the main wholesaler in, like, if you wanted to do it at that scale, that level, it'd have to be like the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'd have to go at least an hour radius all around me.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. But if I wanted that to be a thing, I would do what Tony Young says. I'd make my list every Sunday morning, get in my car, I'd drive, I'd knock on every fucking door.
Yeah.
While I'm out there, I'd be writing down new.
Yeah.
That right there is how I could be the hidden market #1 deal guy in the Midwest. I know a guy who does it. He just came and spoke. I just have to do exactly what the hell he tells me to do. Now, is that the guy I want to be? Not particularly. I want that to be a part of the business, but I want to be a flipper.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be more like a Chip Gaines in that realm. So, I should, in theory, maybe look at their life a little more. I even like their, like, personal life a lot.
I do too.
God damn it, dude. Do we just gotta imitate them a little bit more?
I think so. Except for I won't do everything white with always a farmhouse sink.
You gotta have a farmhouse sink. So what I was thinking, babe, all right, so I was thinking you come in here. All right, we're gonna take out that wall and put up a header. All right, and then
to really open up the living room and the kitchen.
And then it, like, on the show, it's gonna go, and it's gonna, like, make this noise, and then all of a sudden it's gonna show on a display.
Yep.
Okay, and then what I think we gotta do next, I think we gotta wipe these cabinets out. Okay, we're gonna put cabinets in white, black countertop with a farmhouse sink, and then we're gonna have an island here for sitting. Okay.
And then we're gonna put up new trim and paint the walls.
Paint the walls.
Put new trim in.
Yeah. Anyways, and then we're gonna finish it out with some nice hardwood floors. Okay. Hold on, we're not done. Then we're gonna do shiplap.
Yeah, don't forget
on this wall.
Don't forget.
We're gonna do white shiplap for this accent wall over here. Anyways, dude. Here's the deal.
If you guys ever just binge watch. Is there a show called Chip and Joanna Gaines?
Nah, dude, it's home flippers or house flippers, flipping houses. Whatever the fuck.
You should binge watch their show, and once you get to like 4 or 5 episodes in, you'll realize that they do one design.
Dude, no, we crushed out. I remember we binged because we were like, this is our business, and we like piss pounded 2.5 seasons, and we just banged through them. By the time we got to that, we were quoting what the hell they were saying before they said it. We're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is what they're going to do.
And there was only
Okay.
one house that was different.
Yep.
Because the customer asked for it to be different.
So here's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
People buy that shit. They love that shit.
I mean, we've discussed this. Wait, are we getting a little bit off topic?
No, keep going.
We've discussed this. There is one look that we are really good at in a house, and we just do that look because that's less decisions we have to make. We know how much money everything's going to cost.
Yep.
I think the only thing we ever switch up is like the color of the cabinets.
We do switch color cabinets, color trim.
Yep.
We do that a lot.
But otherwise, like everything else stays the same.
Pretty much. Yeah, we have 2 different types of light fixtures and stuff we choose from. 2 different like colors, and then we have like few different fixture options. The vanities we get to match the cabinets usually. Trim kind of bases on the feel of the house. We have like the same 3 different floors. We use the same wall color in every house.
Yeah.
Like it's just, we usually use the same carpet color. However, the guy we used for carpet had a massive excess of another carpet that was similar in color, off by a shade that we've been using.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, yeah, it's pretty. But what we will do different, if customers want, we will do different stuff for customers.
Yeah.
And
But for house flips, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Which people buy those houses, so I'm sure a lot of customer jobs, like, you could even like advise them, like, okay, this is like what we think you should do, because like this is what looks good, this is what sells. You can always like suggest things, and if they're just like, no, let's do this, okay, done deal.
That's what I like to do with Ryan and flips, or Ryan and unit turnovers. Like, hey, dude, this is gonna hold up a lot better than this.
Yep.
But anyways, okay, so back on track.
But that is something that we've like looked in, like a long time ago. We were like, we want to be like Chip and Joanna Gaines. How do we do it? So we watched their TV show.
Yeah.
We did our research.
Yep. And so, yeah, to do, like, something we could do is just continuously follow up. Like, is this something Chip would do? And be like, no. All right, then maybe I shouldn't do it. But that goes like, dude, you can take that into any aspect of your life, whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to be identified as a runner, are you doing shit that a runner wouldn't do? Then ask yourself, like, oh my God, would someone that gets up and runs every day, would they really eat ice cream before bed? Probably fucking not.
For a little bit after 75 hard, I was snacking really bad at work. Again?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You never ask about my...
I shouldn't have to ask.
I shouldn't have to tell you that I had a bag of chips today. But for like a week or two, I would get like a bag of chips every day. And finally, I was just like, okay, what would a disciplined person do? Not eat this bag of chips. And just wait it out and eat my food when I'm going to eat my food. And it helps. It helps a lot.
I'm disappointed a little bit. But I'm glad to hear you got back on track.
I was going to say, you can't be disappointed in me.
Why not?
Because there's been days when you come home and you're just like, oh, I haven't eaten any of my food yet today. And I'm like, oh, really, babe? Why is that? Where'd you go?
Hey, I wasn't eating chips. I was eating meals, baby. Full meals.
I do eat, there's a couple types of like healthy chips in our vending machine. Because we have like pita chips.
And how often are you eating those?
It was once a day for 2 weeks.
Only the healthy chips?
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. Anyways, we're moving on from here. Nice. What else we got?
If you have a vision board, put like the person you want to be similar to on your vision board. And just remind yourself.
Yeah.
What would this person do?
I love it. So you always refer back to, is this what that person would do? And then you're good. Okay, so continuing with the questions. A lot of the questions we do and a lot of the questions we should do is weigh the pros and cons. Get the why out of it, right?
Yeah.
So if you, like, at first section, you ask yourself, let's just do it on something simple like you want a new car.
Yeah.
Because I always love cars.
Yep.
Okay. Should I buy a new car?
No.
Okay. Your first instinct is no, right?
Yes.
So this is, should I buy a new car?
Yes.
No. Okay, sweet. So now what if we phrase it this way? What would be the pros to me getting a new car? In my situation, my car would be a truck. Because, okay, so should I buy or upgrade to a new truck? Okay, instead of just saying yes or no, I'd be like, okay, what are the pros, or why would it be good to upgrade a truck? Well, I'd get something that currently isn't in the shop every 2 weeks.
Right.
Because my current truck ends up in the shop every 2 to 3 weeks, my truck's in the shop for a few days.
Yep.
Okay, so that's sick because diesels are stupid as shit, and it's got a lot of miles on it. So boom. All right, so I'd have my truck for work. That could be pretty handy, right? I would have a higher depreciable asset.
Yeah.
And this year is 80%, and next year it'll only be 60% depreciable. So if I bought it this year, I'd have 80% depreciation.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing, I could, if I buy the right truck, okay, I can still tow my trailers. I could get rid of my car, and so I could wipe out one of my full coverage insurances, and I'd only have one full coverage insurance.
Yeah.
So I'd actually save money on insurance a month. Okay. I could take out a loan instead of having it paid for in cash. I get the cash back for my truck, so I have more money in savings. I could pay on the truck loan, and I'd be paying. My interest would be a write-off.
Yeah.
So I'd write off my interest, and it'd be monthly payments, so I could put more money in the bank for funding deals or reserves, right? And like the last part is, I'd have a reliable fucking vehicle.
Yep.
Okay. So when you go like that, right? Is it worth it? That might be a little more worth it than we thought. All right, what's the downside of me getting a new thing? I'll have a truck payment. Okay. I'll have a truck payment. That's a downside for sure. I will treat it better because it will be I'll have to be very cautious of how I'm treating it with it being a work truck. So I won't just beat on it.
Right.
Which that could also move into being a good thing.
Yep.
And I'll be putting a pretty good amount of miles on it. So I'll have to get a truck that doesn't depreciate by mileage. Or like that doesn't really take a hit on its value by mileage.
Right, yeah.
So Toyota. Toyota or a diesel. That's my two options. But I already got a diesel, so do I really want to go down that road again? Okay. So, and then the last one would be I'd have to look for one, and I'd have to spend time looking for one.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are like if you broke down, should I buy a truck? Then you could factor in those two things and look at each side and be like, oh fuck, dude, it might actually make sense to buy a solid good truck this year.
Yeah.
Sell my other ones, and then have a 80% depreciating asset, moving it like going from here on out.
Yeah.
I never have to question what vehicle I'm taking. If I'm out and about somewhere around town, they need me to get something, I can always pick it up. I don't have to be like, oh yeah, no worries, let me just go back and get my truck.
Yeah.
So anyways, by rephrasing the question, it's not just an automatic, oh no, I don't want a car payment.
Yeah.
Nope, not going to do it. Instead, asking yourself, what would it mean?
Could you also ask, what do I need to do in order to get a new truck?
Sure, why not? Like, what milestone? Or what do you mean?
Just in general, because, so then you phrased it that way, right? So now you figured out you probably should get a new truck. So then you should also go, what do I need to do to get a new truck?
Identify what truck I want. Do research based on the truck. Go test drive a few of the trucks.
Yep.
Figure out which one I want.
Figure out a price point, probably.
Figure out a price point I'm willing to pay in. Get pre-approved for a loan. Purchase a truck.
There we go.
Love it. Yeah, no, I mean, that absolutely makes sense. Beside that, doing all that ahead of time, instead of just instantly going on Facebook, finding a truck, messaging the guy, going and looking at it, then going, fuck. Is this truck good or not? Researching that year. Don't have a lot of time researching it, so you just skip over the important shit, find out it's a lemon, after you buy it, you end up getting a shitty loan because you didn't shop around and get a decent loan through, through a company. And so all of a sudden, boom, bing, bang, like out of nowhere, you got a lemon, and because you rush things.
Well, that's like, I mean, with your diesel, like.
For sure, what I did with the diesel, because I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, the Forerunner we actually did quite a bit of research on beforehand.
Yeah, dude, I was not playing that game again.
Yeah. So yeah, that one we did take our sweet time with buying.
Dude, another thing, like even the Corvette, when we bought that, it seemed like a really good deal. But I did not search for, when I went on Facebook and stuff, I saw like everyone had theirs up for more. So automatically I'm like, it's a good deal. The problem is all those guys that had them up for more, if I would have tracked that for the next 3 months, I'd notice all those motherfuckers still have their cars up. Yep. And so I, like, on first glance, was like, oh my God, all these are going for like 12. I'm good. Like, all these are going for 12. I'm getting a screaming deal. Yeah, it turns out all those ended up selling for 7. Yeah. They all just started at 12, and it took them 6 months to sell them. Yep. Shit. That backfired. Yep. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. But, like, it's all about asking the right questions and then doing the things that you asked yourself. And, like, writing them. Like, write them down, put them on your vision list, check them off as you go along, make sure you check in frequently. Yep. One of my July goals is to go over my vision and fix it a little bit because I haven't looked at it in probably over a year. Things have changed in a year. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So. Yeah. I like it. That's what I got. That's all I got, guys. Reframe the questions in your minds. Take your time. Like, be patient with any decision making. Too many of us are very, what's that? Trigger happy? No, what's the other one? Short-term gratification. Well, there's that, yeah. We just want it now. We want everything now. We don't want to take our time and be patient. So by reframing these questions, it really helps you be patient and to actually like look into things like you should. And then remember, gut feelings typically bring upon the right response. So listen to your gut, but don't just listen to your gut once you've asked the right questions. Yes. Don't just be like, oh, nope, doesn't feel right. Ask the right questions, then listen to your gut. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. First Form Sunrise was delicious. Yeah, it was. I'm definitely going to get more of them. Yep. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya. Peace.